My name is Bill Wilkins and this is my house. We're not talking about The Conjuring 2 right now. We're talking about Neighbors. Why did I say it like that? Neighbors. With Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. And you know what? This movie was not as bad as I remember. Maybe I'm thinking of the second one, which was not very good. No, it's not because they added women. Although it could be part of it. No, I'm just kidding. But no. The story here is that a happily married couple are trying to live their lives when a fraternity moves next door to their house. Now let's be real here. This could never happen. Because, from what I've seen in movies, colleges have certain neighborhoods set up where they would have the frat houses. It's like fraternity row or sorority row. It's all lined up. They wouldn't just move into a random neighborhood and have a fraternity house, a frat house. They wouldn't do that. But this is one of those, what if this happened type situations. And so, yeah, we got this couple. An unrealistic couple played by Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. Gotta love those comedies where the fat schlub gets the hot chick. You know, Rose Byrne is 7 years older than me, but I would still... Sorry, Bobby Cannavale. I'm just saying, you're a woman. You know, he doesn't watch this. He's like, yeah, I know what I got. You know, I know what I got. You ain't got to tell me. I know what I got, man. I mean, he kicked my ass. I would, yeah. She wouldn't, but I would. I'm just saying. And then you got Zac Efron, right, as Teddy. So you got like two pairings here. You got Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne. There's this couple who just want to have a normal life and raise their daughter. And then you have Teddy and Pete, or Zac Efron and Dave Franco, you know, the Franco that wasn't canceled, who want to, who are, you know, running this fraternity. You also have Christopher Mintz-Plasse in what is basically a cameo role. Ike Barinholtz gets a bigger role than him. He shows up, I think he's in like 5 scenes in the entire movie. He just kind of shows up to do something, and that's it. You know? Ike Barinholtz plays Jimmy, Seth Rogen's friend and co-worker. So, I feel like, as a parent, I need to point this out. The first scene in this movie is them trying to have sex while their child is sitting right there. Now, that's the kind of shit that you get the cops called on for you, and you put on a special list for. Yeah, you get wait till she's asleep and do it. Don't do it when she's right there. Their solution is to turn her around, but you know there's this fancy thing us human hands have called a neck. So she just do this. Yeah, so don't do it, you know. Don't do that. Wait till she's asleep. You know. Or do what my ex and I tried to do. I gave him some toys and put him in the bedroom. Didn't shut the door, but we were on a couch over here. It was here. And we were covered completely. But then we couldn't concentrate because we were too worried about him walking back out. So, nothing happened. I have insecurity issues. I mean, hello? With this thing. I also realized in this movie, there's a scene at the end of the movie where Zac Efron is now, like, working outside, Abercrombie & Fitch, being one, like, apparently they have people who take their shirts off and just sort of model for them. And so Seth Rogen does it, and I came to the realization that I'm fatter than Seth Rogen, and that's just not right. But yeah, and it's sort of a lesson of this couple who still wants to try to be like they were before they were married. Although, I think if they were going to do this, you shouldn't have done this with people who were in their late 30s, almost 40. I understand the point of doing that, but I think a comparison could be these two are college students, right? But then you got a couple who are fresh out of college and have a baby because of, it was something happened and she got knocked up and had to deal with this baby. They still want to live that life, but then they have to realize they have to grow up. These are two grown-ass adults in their late 30s, mid-30s, that are still going through this. I mean, maybe they, because they didn't have a child, they just had a child so long ago, and they're, dealing with it now because it took a while. But, it still works. And I found the comedians to work better, except for... So there's a joke that they did in the trailer where Seth Rogen sits on a chair and the frat... Teddy and Pete have put airbags in the chairs, and so when he sits down, it... By the way, you have to put a lot of pressure on the airbag for it to activate. At least when it's in a car, I don't know. Okay, the joke in The Office where it happens to Seth Rogen, and then you see it happen to Jimmy later in the same scene, that works. And if you just stuck to that, that would have been fine. But then you have the joke of he has an argument with her, or Seth Rogen has an argument with Rose Byrne, she takes off, and then he sits down and there's another one. And then he starts poking and prodding another chair and it goes off. I'm just like, okay, you had the funny part, you didn't have to keep going. By the way, how is there 4 airbags? They're just in the front, right? Unless they stole from Jimmy's car. Right? There's one in the wheel, one in the glove compartment box, and that's it, right? There's none in the back. Are there? I don't know. There are dogs out there, so I don't know. I don't know how cars work. I don't drive. But, yeah. And then they do a thing where he's, like, poking the baby's bed, and, like, I'm glad nothing goes off, because it's like, why would they do that to the baby? That's just not fair. There's also a scene that I think is not necessary, because it doesn't really go anywhere, but because of all the partying, the baby finds a condom. It turns out that it's not used, which is still kind of gross. But then they have the doctor go, she has hepatitis C. Oh God, is what I could have is the worst case that I could have said. It's unused. She's fine. Okay, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. Why'd you put that joke in there? That's not funny. It's not even a joke. It's just stupid. And then at one point they try to sabotage the frat party by having their friends and them sneak in. Although then the friend Paula, who's Jimmy's ex, ends up with one of the frat guys, which is also kind of late 30s versus. But she ends up getting back with Jimmy at the end anyway. It kind of feels like a last minute thing. Oh, they need to get back together. Whatever. Yeah, so they go in there, and they set up Pete to hook up with Teddy's girlfriend, who barely shows up in the scene, is never seen again in the movie, I don't think. They hook up, and he gets all pissed. But then, it doesn't really work, because they're fine in the very next scene. They're like, oh, you know what, my bad, it's cool. But then later, he's still angry at him about it. He's like, that's my girlfriend, man. But, yeah, it's just kind of, we need to have them come back together so they can work together, So their final plan is, so they're on probation. By the way, there's a couple times they go to see Regina Phalange. I'm sorry. No, it's the dean of students, played by Phoebe from Friends, Lisa Kudrow, who really doesn't do shit in this movie. She just sits at a desk all the time. Hello, I'm getting paid for sitting here at a desk. Or Phoebe would laugh. Yeah, she doesn't laugh like that. But yeah, just I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but it's fine. It works. I guess what they were doing. And eventually, the frat house is put on probation, not double secret probation, but probation, which means they can't do anything. Well, as a plan, as their final plan here to get them kicked out, they send it. That being the adult characters, send them, Seth Rogen and them, send them a note saying that they're no longer on probation, so they're going to do whatever they want, which is not how it would work, because just because you're off probation doesn't mean you can't then again be put on probation. You can't just say, oh, you're off probation, and we put on a party, because then they'll just show them, oh, well, you're back on probation again. And like, even if that, you weren't on probation, but you still disobey what we told you, so you're still kicked out, So yeah, so they set up this fake thing, and then they're having a party, and then they start to kind of pretend to be various celebrities, because Ike Barinholtz can do impersonations of Barack Obama, and if the movie came out today, they would say that's racist for a white man to play a black man, because Hank Azaria can't be Apu anymore, you fucking bastards. Pay no mind, he'd been doing it for almost 30 fucking years. But no, it's racist now to have a white guy play an Indian. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I know he's got a billion other voices on there, but still, that's one of his most famous. No, he can't do that anymore. No. Also, Miss Piggy and Pepe Le Pew, no, they're not. They can't be shown anymore. Why? Because Miss Piggy beats people. Oh no, a puppet hitting people. Whatever will we do? Oh, Pepe Le Pew's a womanizer. Okay. Better arrest every man ever. Well, they're trying. They're trying. But I'm just saying, like, come on. And another thing, it's a puppet and a fucking cartoon character. They're cartoon characters. Puppet. Leave it be, man. I think they even fired Mike Henry from doing the voice of Cleveland. And that's complete and total bullshit, if that's true. Just let them do the voices, alright? Oh, but they're not black. Who gives a shit? Okay, who cares? Let them do their job. I don't care what color their skin is. Isn't the message supposed to be, it doesn't matter what color your skin is, you can do whatever job you want, and do anything you want. You are basically being anti that. And if someone was telling a black person they couldn't voice a white guy, you'd be up in arms and trying to cancel that person for doing it. But no, it's okay to do it the other way. It's okay to do it the other way, right? You can have a black person play Wonder Man, but if they tried to turn Black Panther to a white guy, nope, that's racist, gotta stop that. Can't do it the opposite way. Nope. If now they had Samuel, if now they turned Nick Fury back to the way he was back in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, they'd say, nope, that's racist. You can't do that because it's a black character. But you can make every white comic book character on the earth black, and it's absolutely fine. Scotty's calmed down. Sorry. I try not to get too vocal on that, and apparently it's been building up, but I'm sorry. What were we even talking about? It started with Ike Barinholtz doing the voice of Barack Obama. And that that completely went off the rails. I'm just saying, don't cancel. Just let people be people. Just let them do it, okay? Just. Anyway, so they set this up, and it's during the rave party that they're having. They're like, where all these flyers come from? Who does flyers? They're like, fucking old people. And so let me see that thing, the letter we got. Apparently, Jimmy put Hebrew letters in the insignia of the college, and it's supposed to be Latin, and that's how they figured out it's fake. Although they, excuse me, shouldn't have guzzled that. Although they already figured out that it was fake anyway, but that's the last straw. Then Jimmy tells out, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Yeah, a little bit, gotcha, we got you. Yeah, but you didn't do that in the middle of it. Which he's got a point, by the way. I like Seth Rogen, by the way. I think he's good in his comedies. I would put Pineapple Express above all. Is my favorite one of his. This one's good. I kind of liked The Interview. I thought it was decent. I thought that was blown way out of proportion with this release because of its content. Again, I can go into the whole cancel culture thing. Oh no, you can't do a movie about... All because the movie was about trying to do something to a very infamous foreign leader. I'm not gonna throw it out there. You're not gonna clip that. But all because they were gonna do something to someone that it went like banned and stuff, and you had to they did not go to theaters, and you had to rent it to watch it. And my friend Eric rented it, and we watched it, and I thought it was okay, and it wasn't even that offensive. But lo and behold, North Korea got their tidy whities up in a bunch. But that's fine. Everyone can be offended about something. Just stop trying to cancel people over it, okay? Oh, don't get me back in my rant. Hold on. I wasn't even planning on going into these till later. I need to calm down. So yeah, they figured it out, and then... So here's my issue. There's this cop that keeps showing up, played by Hannibal Buress. He knows something's going on, but never does any shit. Like, there's this whole scene at the beginning where he shows up. So there's the whole thing in the beginning where they kind of make friends with the frat people. And they're like, hey, if there's ever a problem, come talk to me first. Don't call the cops, call me. So they call them. They don't answer them. So then he calls the cops. And then they get all pissed because they call the cops. And, first of all, if you're a cop, you're not supposed to tell them who it was. By the way, if you're calling, you should... we have a caller ID. Really? Cops have a caller ID. So how does an anonymous tipper work? If they have caller ID, how does an anonymous tip work? Someone calls and says, hey, I have an anonymous tip about this and that. How does that work if the cops have caller ID? Oh, I have an anonymous tip. Yeah, but your name is, and you live at... And the cop just kind of points to them, hey, wouldn't that be against what they're doing? You can't just, do that. That's what causes the war. And at the end here, he shows up, and they're clearly clearing out a party. And then this guy shows up and is like, hey, you have a party? No, sir. We're just clearing out now. There was one, but we got rid of it. So there was a party. Why isn't he arresting these people? The whole thing was that they were on probation and can't have a party. This guy just admitted that there was a party, but now it's clearing out. So he just gave the cop the information that they were having a party, which means it still violated their probation. But this movie would have you believe that cops don't work that way and would just turn around and say, okay, it's okay, officer, we're not partying anymore, and he would just leave. That's not how cops work. You just admitted, shut up, dog. Shut up, dog. No, you just admitted you had a party in a place that is under probation. You go to jail, you go to jail, you go to jail. Everybody goes to jail. Ha ha. And you are kicked out of the college. But nope, this movie thinks that it doesn't work that way. So the grown-up people have to sneak in, and so they have a whole code system and it's 420. Haha. Rose Byrne goes in while Seth Rogen fights off Zac Efron. And he's able to hold his own. Yeah, that's believable. I believe that Seth Rogen could hold his own against Zac Efron. Sure, movie. Sure. And then when Rose Byrne goes up there, that's locked. So they're not able to turn the power back on, so she fires a firework, which alerts the cop. And Zac Efron has everyone scatter, and he takes the blame. But as long as it takes for the cop to get there, he could have scattered too. And it's not the first time in a movie I've seen it. No, you go out, take the blame. You go out, take the blame. But as long as that person gets there, takes to get there, you both could have ran off and been fine. But no, you have to have it where he takes the blame, and yeah. So Ike Barinholtz and his ex are back together. They're fine raising a family, you know. Not together, they're going to clubs or whatever. But then, by the way, isn't Ike Barinholtz older than Seth Rogen? I don't know, maybe. Like Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne are fine being a couple with their daughter, and they're making a calendar with their daughter, and the first thing they're doing is Breaking Bad with blue ice cubes. Next one is Mad Men, because that's what you want to represent your daughter is. It'd be worse. And then we have the meet of, I think it's before this, but we have the meeting up, like I said, between Teddy and Mac, that's Seth Rogen, and they kind of talk it out, and they're kind of cool with each other, and yeah. And then they made a sequel. Was this fine enough with that one? Yes. Did they need one? No. Is it good? Not that I remember. But they made one because you can't just make a good movie and just have a good movie. You have to have a sequel. Because, yeah. Keep in mind, there are a lot of good movies out there that never got sequels. E.T., right? Is that the only one? E.T. never got sequels, right? Trying to think. Is that the only good movie I can think of that didn't have sequels? E.T. The Goonies, right? Although they tried, couldn't get one off the ground. The Goonies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, they couldn't have a sequel to that. Footloose never got a sequel. Not that it needed one. Could have one. Roadhouse got one. I'll be talking about that, I guess, eventually. True Lies. True Lies is a movie that should have got a sequel but didn't. But it's a good movie that didn't get a sequel. So why couldn't this just be a good movie that didn't get a sequel? Because it's another one of those, the case files of, it's a good movie that got a sequel that wasn't good. How many of those happen? Neverending Story. Although Neverending Story 2 is not that bad. 3, though, yeah, we'll get that when I get to the sequel fun. Yeah. Kick-Ass 2 is okay, but was it needed? I don't remember the Dragonheart sequel. I'd never seen the first one before, like a week or two ago. Last week? Before? Anyway, I'm gonna give this a high middle of the road. I think it's definitely better than the last one I did, but it still has some issues, and I don't, this is the second time since I bought it. And I didn't buy it in the store. I bought it from Family Video for maybe like $5.99, $4.99, whatever. It was shortened price from the original price. So let's see what the next movie is, shall we? Once again, Scotty's going to try to read it backwards. Oh, it's been tough because it's also my writing. So like, is that a T? The something. The. Shoot, what's the first letter? The T. T. The T. U. The tuxedo. Jackie Chan. Yes. Jackie Chan. Oh. Yeah. That's actually right. Should be right. How the hell did it go? It should be right here in this stack. It's not even right. Where the hell is tuxedo? Oh boy. Tell me I lost it. Where the hell? Am I just not seeing it? Is it right here and I'm not? It has a green case. How can I not know? Oh, where the hell is it? Oh, those are all sequels. I don't. Where are the movies that I'm? Yeah, these are the movies I'm doing for my Scotty's pick, which I'm set for July, by the way. So. Nope, it's not there. Excuse me. Ah! By the way, the case is not green. There it is. Jackie Chan, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yes. So there it is. Not that you need to see me trying to find it, but anyway. What are your thoughts on Neighbors? Leave a comment below, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scott, and I'll see you in the next one.